Chihe's birthday. One day, Chihe wakes up very early. She is excited. It is her birthday. She is 8 years old. Her mother has promised her a special day. After Chihe's mother and grandmother wake up, they eat rice and seaweed soup. Chihe's mother brings her a present. It is a big book of maps. There are maps of every country in the world. But there is another present too. This present is too big to be another book. Chihe takes the paper off the present. She looks to see what is inside. It is a black rubber suit. It is just like her grandmother's suit. Underneath the suit, there are goggles and a pair of fins. Chihe rushes to take off her clothes. She puts on her swimsuit. Then she puts on the rubber suit, the goggles, and the fins. "Look at me," says Chihe. "I am a diver, just like grandmother." Chihe loves her suit, and she hugs her mother and her grandmother. "Now you have your own suit and goggles. You look just like me," says Chihe's grandmother. "Would you like to go diving with me too?" Chihe looks at her mother. "Can I go with her?" she asks. "Please." Chihe's mother is worried. She has the sad face that Chihe knows. Chihe knows that she is thinking about her father. She worries that something bad will happen. But she can see how much Chihe wants to go with her grandmother. "You can go with her," says Chihe's mother. Perhaps that way you will see just how dangerous the sea can be. But be careful. Do whatever your grandmother tells you to do. Chihe waits while her grandmother changes into her rubber suit. She collects her goggles, fins, and float. She has another float for Chihe. She holds Chihe's hand, and they walk down to the beach. Chihe's mother stays in front of the house and watches them go. They get to the beach. Chihe's grandmother helps her to put on her fins. Then she puts on her goggles. They walk out into the sea, carrying their floats. As they walk into the sea, the water gets deeper and deeper. They have to swim. Chihe the fish is a good swimmer. When they are a little way out, her grandmother stops swimming. She nods her head. "Here," she says, "watch me, Chihe." Chihe watches her grandmother put her goggles on. She dives down under the water. Jihae puts her goggles on. She dips her head under the water. She can see clearly under the water through her goggles. She can see seaweed growing at the bottom of the sea. The seaweed waves as the water moves. She can see little fish, a crab, and a bright starfish. She can see her grandmother diving down to the bottom. She cuts some of the seaweed. Her grandmother comes back up into the air. She puts the seaweed in her net. Now it is Jihae's chance to dive. Her grandmother holds her hand and pulls her down. Jihae dips down in the water a little way. She pulls at some seaweed. It does not come free. Jihae pulls again, but it is too strong. She cannot breathe any longer. She squeezes her grandmother's hand hard. Jihae comes up from under the water. Her grandmother makes her hold on to the big float. Her mouth is full of seawater. Her goggles have filled with water too. She spits out the salty water and tries to breathe again. Her throat is hurting from coughing up the water. Her eyes are burning too. For a moment, she is frightened that she will sink under the water. Her grandmother pats her on the back so that she can get all of the water out of her body. I can't do it, grandmother. It is too hard, she says sadly. Yes, it is hard, but I am sure you will be able to get some seaweed. You need to keep trying, says her grandmother. Jihae tries again and again. She cannot get any seaweed. Again, her mouth fills with water, and she coughs and spits. Again, she is frightened, but she does not want to give up. For a third time, Jihae dives down under the water. This time, a little piece of seaweed comes off in her hand. She comes back up to the surface. She holds the seaweed up in the air. Jihae calls out to her grandmother, "Look, look, seaweed! I dived for it and I got it." She is so excited. She has done it. This is her first ever dive to get something from the sea. She is a diver just like she has always dreamed. By the time Jihae gets back home with her grandmother, she is tired. It is much harder than she thought to be a diver. And this time she did not even swim out very far or dive very deep. Now she sees just how hard it is. She sees how dangerous swimming and diving in the sea can be. Her grandmother smiles at her. "Your mother is right," she says. "The sea can be a dangerous place. Now you understand that, Jihae. Now you can see just how hard it is to be a diver." Jihae smiles too. "Yes, grandmother," she says. Perhaps her mother is right. Perhaps she will study hard and get a job which is safer. Perhaps she will just watch her grandmother and her friends diving. Her mother will be happy if that happens. But for now, Jihae will secretly keep her dream alive. Jihae does not have a heavy belt to get down deep in the sea. She is too young, but in her secret dream, she has a belt. When she is older, she will get a belt of her own. Then she will swim far out to the deeper water or go in a boat. She will do it when the moon says that the tide is right. Even if it is only once, to show that she can, she will go to sea like her father did. She will be a diver like her grandmother. But for now, she is happy to dream. She is happy to collect seaweed with her grandmother in the shallow water near the shore.